What's up, dudes, lady dudes? Welcome back to Just Nuts. Guys, today I have a revamped update to my ninja deck profile that I did a couple months ago. Did really well. A lot of people were really hyped on ninjas, and I thought my list was pretty different and actually better than a lot of lists you'll see out there. I don't think like the heavy control variant with like the transformation traps is very good. With like Dark Simorg and Apex Avian, I don't think those are very good. They're way too fragile. And then I also don't think the super heavy combo variant is very good as well. So this is my update to the list I did in the past, and it's actually pretty different. The other one lacked mostly consistency, so this deck may have a little less power than that deck overall, but I would say the consistency of this deck, this version of the deck, is way higher than it was prior. So let's jump right into the list here. We're going to start off with the main monster that's going to be at 3. If it's at 3 on the list, then it's going to be 3 in your deck. So you're always going to play 3 Hanzo. He's too good. His effect not... What the fuck was that? I got my friend JT on FaceTime, so if you hear anything stupid, it's him, not me, I swear. Yeah. Yeah, Hanzo, if he's not once per turn, like neither of his effects are once per turn, you loop him all the time. He's just your best starter. I still decide to play 3 yellow because yellow is like sometimes the difference between your board being like decent and your board being like nice, like actually like really tough to break for any deck. So I really like maxing out on him. He's just a good extender, I feel, in the deck, and while he's not the best support the deck could have gotten, he's not bad. So I'll play him at 3 just for, you know, for the whole purpose that he's actually a decent ninja, which we have not gotten in so long, and then finally got at the end of last year. I actually bumped Upstart Gold Ninja up to 3, and you'll see there's kind of like a pattern here is that I'm kind of just maximizing the cards you want to see early. So Upstart Gold Ninja essentially can be better than Hanzo in certain hands. Not always though, but in a lot of hands he can be. He's just another starter, and really when the biggest problem for the deck was consistency, I'm just maxing out on the cards that are going to let you play your deck the way it's supposed to play. So 3 Upstart. And then a card that I dropped down is actually Twilight Ninja Jogan. Before I was playing 3 of this card, but I've dropped the number of Ninjutsu art cards down, and rightfully so I've dropped Jogan as well, because he needs another Ninjutsu art card in hand to even be able to summon, period. So the fact that I'm only playing, I think, 6 Ninjutsu art cards now, I dropped him down because I didn't want to see him without being able to summon him, because then he's literally a complete blank. He literally cannot be summoned if you don't have the card to go with him. So I decided to only play him at 2 because you can't play him at 1. I don't think you can play you can play him at 1, but I think 3 is too many. So that's actually it for the ninja monsters. Before I move on to this card that everybody knows very well, or you should, I dropped Twilight Ninja Kagen. Kagen just is not worth to me. He would definitely allow for a lot more explosiveness in the deck, but it wasn't worth it because you were playing a 3 of a card you literally never wanted to draw ever. Not ever. So to me, it was worth dropping him, and also dropping Duplication, because the consistency of that little package is just so terrible. It literally drops the consistency of your deck so much that it just was not worth it to me overall. And I'm kind of streamlining to just the 4 like best ninja monsters in my opinion. Getsuga is actually pretty good. I wouldn't blame you if you still played Getsuga. He's just a brick turn 1, and I felt like if you're not playing a more aggressive variant of ninjas, I don't think it's really worth playing Getsuga. But if you did, I wouldn't hate you for it, because I do think he's a good card overall. But for the rest of the monsters, I played 2 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, or sorry, 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, and 2 Effect Veiler. Again, I said this in my last list, but I'm still under the same restrictions that I do not have Impermanence. If you have Impermanence, play it over Veiler, for the sole fact that it just increases the consistency of you being able to resolve Upstart Golden Ninja, because he does need a trap to be sent from hand to resolve his effect. So I would play 2, maybe even 3 Impermanence, just because it's another hand trap. When you go second, you really do want to see a hand trap, because it can be very hard to win if you don't. And in testing this deck today, it was pretty good. I mean, I went 9-1, and the only duel I lost was like to Cyber Dragons, because I played it super greedy, and it came back to bite me in the ass. And I probably should have won that duel otherwise. So I probably should have been 10-0 if I was playing better, but I ended up going 9-1, which is still really good. We move into the traps here. I have 3 Ninjutsu Art of, or Hidden Village of Ninjutsu Arts. This card's really good. I do play Desires, so I wouldn't really play this card at like 2 in a Terraforming for, ooh, at least you get to thin your deck. It's just not worth it to me. I'm not trying to banish 2 of them and then draw Terraforming. I just play a hard 3 copies of this card with no Terraforming because you want to see it. You want to set up a board with this card giving you protection and recursion every turn, as well as Shadow Ceiling set and hopefully Rustmas face up as well. So, and for the draw power, we just play 3 Desires. I know 3 Desires, it's terrifying in a 40 card deck, but I feel like you just got to play it. Like, you just got to run the risk of drawing into more Desires because the consistency is key. That was like the #1 problem I've had with this deck, and this card just lets the consistency not be nearly the problem that it was in the past. So 3 Desires, I'm fearless. You fire it off, you just do. There, I thought about playing Extravagance, but decided against it because you kind of need Saizo. Like, without Saizo, like, some duels are just like impossible to win. So I didn't want to risk playing a card that like could just completely erase your main win condition. I thought about it though. It was interesting. And then for a new card that I did not play before, but actually is pretty solid, is Instant Fusion. So Instant Fusion has a lot of utility in the deck. It does multiple different things. So obviously the main 2 targets are Millenniumize Restrict and Thousand Eyes Restrict. We'll get there when we get to the extra deck, but Millenniumize for going first, essentially being like a pseudo Called by the Grave, just so you can protect your main play, either Upstart Gold Ninja or Hanzo, from being hit by a hand trap, because those 2 monsters get hit by almost like every single hand trap. They both get by Ash, Veiler, Impermanence. Ogre hurts both of them a lot, and what's the other one? Ghost Spell doesn't hurt them, but like that's like the only one that doesn't like wreck them. Almost every other hand trap in the game like hurts them. So this card helps you break boards going second, helps you put a monster under Saizo to make your board stronger, and yeah, it's just really good. I would highly recommend this card. Playing this, I'm surprised I didn't think of this earlier because it's like really good actually. It's just super versatile in what it can do for you. I move to Called by the Grave. Again, one of Instant Fusion's main purposes is to protect you from hand traps, and Called by the Grave is the best card to protect you from hand traps. So I'd play it at 3. So essentially, I'm playing like 6 Called by the Grave. So I'm just trying to resolve either Hanzo or Upstart. That's like my main goal in life. Then I play 1 Reinforcing the Army. You got to play it. I mean, it's a warrior deck. It searches. It's almost always Hanzo. Unless you have Hanzo, then it's Yellow Ninja. So you got to play it. There, and I do decide to play the 1 Monster Reborn, even though I'm not playing the heavy combo variant of the deck. This card is still really good. It can still be really good turn 1. A lot of players, if they're like a smarter player and they really know how to play against ninjas, they will not like Impermanence or Veiler your Yellow Ninja. They'll wait for Hanzo. They know like you need to wait for Hanzo or you need to wait for Upstart Gold Ninja. And if they hit those, if you were able to Yellow Ninja into them, or you had like a Jogan you were able to get on the field as well, just by hard drawing it with a Ninjutsu Art, then you can link for Saizo and then just reborn the one that you needed to resolve. So they lose a hand trap and you just like revived Hanzo to search another ninja. So you still got like a +1 out of it, and your opponent's just like losing hand traps out of the hand, and it's going to make them really hard to like keep up advantage wise after stuff like this. So it's a really nice recovery play as well. Just like almost every duel you end up with like Hanzo and Grave at some point, and this card just becomes a +1 at that point. So I would I like Monster Reborn. Maybe there are some slightly more impactful cards than Monster Reborn at the moment, but it's been good for me, and until I find something that's decisively better, I think I'd play Reborn. So this is a card I've thought about bringing up to 3 because it's like your most consistent searchable piece of disruption. Just being able to banish stuff and lock your opponent out of the extra deck, essentially like a pseudo extra link, is really insanely powerful. And especially with Desires, you don't want to banish both of these, but it's only happened to me 1 time so far, and I still won the duel, so I'd have to keep testing it to really decide, because I also don't want to overdraw it, because if you see 2 of them, like like you're not going to have that many ninja monsters that you're going to want to tribute off just to activate it. And I still stick with one Rustmas. This card is still clutch. It's crazy how many people try to just own this deck by just beating you down in the battle phase. This says no to Thunder Dragons. This, like, even if Thunder Dragons have their protection effects, you literally, every time they summon them, they're just going to be cut in half. So, like, at the end of the day, like, they can never summon something like big they can never like have enough protection because they'll just keep summoning their Thunder Dragons and they'll keep be like 1600 and 1300. So they're so weak anyway. They can't do anything to you in the battle phase. Like those combo decks that summon beat 6, like this card just shuts them down so hard. Highly recommend this card. Just at 1, you search it when it's like a nice little last piece of, you know, fuck you to your opponent, but otherwise you don't really need it. There, I play 2 Solemn Strikes, 1 Solemn Warning, and 1 Solemn Judgment. These are the Solemns I decided to play. 5 just felt like too many, but I decided to do 4. 2 of Strike and Warning and Judgment being able to shut down normal summons is actually really strong right now. Salamangreats need their normal summon. A lot of times, Sky Strikers need their normal summons. The normal summon for Thunder Dragons is pretty important, even though it's not the most important, but being able to stop like a Phantom Sky Blaster or Batteryman Solar can really put their turn on a hindrance. It's just going to really limit the ceiling they're going to be able to do there. Then I play a couple one-ups. So these are weird. These I only decided to play because we have like, these are like holding place. These are placeholders for now until Dark Neostorm comes out. When Dark Neostorm comes out, this will probably just straight up be 3 copies of Manhunt because Manhunt is insane. If you don't know, if you haven't heard about Manhunt or don't know what it does, it literally just says like target 1 monster your opponent controls and take control of it. And it's like a continuous trap, and even if it's destroyed, they don't get the monster back. The monster doesn't even die. You just can't attack with the monster or activate its effects, but you literally just steal it and you just have a free link material. So your opponent minuses 1 and you go 1 for 1, which is more or less a +1 for you in the end. It's just such a good disruption piece. But I've been testing these and these were all good. I had one duel where I heavy storm dusted an Altergeist player, and that was like kind of like a blowout. I had one duel where I don't think I ever used storming in testing, but I discarded it for upstart once or twice. So I mean, I guess that's as good as using it sometimes. And then Compulse was really good one duel. I played against Witchcrafts, the new archetype, and bouncing their stuff after they special summon like the big monsters is literally just like puts them in such a bricky position. It's really hilarious. So those are the 3 I'm playing right now, but when Manhunt comes out, you're probably best off just playing 3 Manhunt. If you're playing a stun deck, you're probably best off playing 3 Manhunt. That card is so good for stun decks. Then we move on to the extra deck. I don't do side deck stuff because if I go to an event and I do well, I want to show you the side deck. That's fine because that's like more relevant. I have like experiences to show you, like to go along with it. But like side decks are so like specific and to formats and stuff, and this video could be seen down the line. I just don't think it's really that worth. So no side deck, but for the extra deck, I do play 1 Linkuriboh. This is for your instant fusion targets, not for Kaghan, because we don't play Kaghan anymore. So 1 Linkuriboh. Put him up here. 2, Ninja Grandmaster Saizo. 3 is just overkill. I don't think I've ever had a single duel where I've needed to go into 3 Saizo. I don't play the combo variant anymore, so I don't spam that many ninjas on the field. If my opponent outs both Saizos, I'm probably losing the duel. I mean, even if I played a 3rd one, he wouldn't make the difference in winning the duel. Then for Nightmares, I only play Phoenix and Unicorn. Cerberus is just the worst of the 3 for sure. Unicorn all the time, yeah, going to him. Just linking Saizo up into Unicorn. And I would maybe look into other Link 3s as well, just to see if there was anything quite good enough to play, like just to link Saizo out of, because sometimes when you're going for game, you need that. But Unicorn's usually all you need. And then the last link I play is Borreload. You don't go into very often. You don't spam the board enough to go into him that often, but sometimes it can be like that final, like, steal, I don't know, game stealing cards you need to just rip a monster from your opponent, and that can be the dagger to end the duel. Then we move into the XZ's monsters. I play 1 Blade Armor Ninja. Really nice. The fact that he is a ninja monster. I did this today actually, going into him hard because my opponent had 4,200 life points and I had Yellow and Hanzo on the field, and I literally couldn't kill him without going into this. I guess I could have probably just gone into Utopia the Lightning, but I thought this would be cooler because it's actually a ninja. I played 1 Tornado Dragon. This card was pretty clutch today as well. I used it once. What did I use it against? can't even remember. Oh, that's right. I used it against a witchcraft player, and I used it to out Village of the Spellcasters, which was pretty cool. That was actually pretty nice to see that actually come in clutch like that. One Silent Honor Arc. I think this card is just straight up better than Castel, because Castel like sends stuff. Well, Castel like only loses material. He doesn't have like protection, and two, he I guess that's it, right? Yeah, because you wouldn't even have enough materials after that to use this again. But I guess it's the main thing. It's just a little extra better. Not crazy better, but it's just a little extra. Baguska, sometimes if you have like a really nice hammer, you can extend pretty far. You just go you just summon Sizo pointing at Baguska. I thought about playing Dweller because Dweller is really good right now, but I think I just overall prefer Baguska over Dweller. And then I play Utopia the Lightning for when you're just trying to attack for game and just end it in one fell swoop. Clear this stuff here. And then the last 3 cards I play are instant fusion targets. This is a card I do not have. This is Millenniumize Restrict. I will have this very soon. It's just $20. I've just been, procrastinating, biting the bullet, and dropping 20 on it. But it's pretty much what you summon going first if you're worried about hand traps. If you don't have like Called by the Grave and you need to resolve either Hanzo or Upstart, you summon this guy and he will protect you from all hand traps, I think, except for impermanence. He should. Then I play Thousand Eyes Restrict. He pretty much just steals an opponent's monster. Then you or whatever you do. Whenever you do their things, you link them away from Linkuriboh. That's why you play Linkuriboh. Thousand Eyes will just steal a monster. Millenniumize will quick effect steal an opponent's monster from grave and negate its effects. And then the last card I play here is Mud Dragon of the Swamp, which his effect doesn't really come up that often. I guess it can. It did not today. I guess it could come up, but he's mainly here to be a level 4, where if the way you out something is going to depend on you going into a rank 4, you can just go into him, and then as long as you had like a ninja or normal summon, you can just go into a rank 4 right there. So he's just a little bit of utility right there. If you already use your Millenniumize Restrict, he can be like a second instant fusion target to possibly help you play through certain boards as well. So that's pretty much it, guys. The deck's been way more consistent. I mean, I think today maybe I had one really rough hand, and I think I still won. That was one of the duels I still won because my opponent didn't have the best hand either, so it worked out. Other than that, I think 9 out of the 10 duels I had like a pretty playable hand, even through a hand trap. I had multiple times I didn't even need my Called by the Grave that I had in hand or my instant fusion, or like to go into Millenniumize Restrict, but if they had a hand trap, I was ready for it, so it wouldn't have even made that big of a difference. So this is, I feel like, the one, like, more or less the best way. Maybe there are a few cards that would be interesting here. They're probably better trap cards you could play than the 3 random ones I decided to play, but let me know. Let me know if you have any ideas to help tighten up the rest of the deck. It's a little loose right now, but I thought this was a good enough list, and I've been having people every once in a while. I had a couple people requesting a Ninja deck profile update, but I think I'm going to leave it off there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, let me know what you think about the deck profile. Let me know if you have any tips, other cards I should definitely consider in the list, and yeah, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more from the future, Got a bunch of deck profiles coming up. There's a whole bunch of cool archetypes and new support coming pretty soon, and I'm really pumped for it. Dual Power right around the corner. There's a ton coming up, and I can't wait for it. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one. JT, you got any last words?
Killing it. Go Ninja, go.
All right. Whatever. God, you're the worst.
TMNT for life.